All right, so welcome everybody to today's session on authentic leadership. I'm really grateful for all of you for showing up today, and this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. I really love the topic of leadership, and I especially love to be with other people who are interested in leadership. And all of you who are here today, you came knowing that we were going to talk about leadership, and so that really shows that you're people who want to make a difference in the world. And leadership really doesn't matter if you're, if you have a so-called leadership position, but leadership is really something that anybody can do. If you're a parent, you're a leader of your family. If you're a part of a community, you can be a leader of a community. Even in a relationship, there's always a need for leadership, and including even our own relationship with ourselves. We need to be leaders in our own life. So Sayaka just sent out the link in the chat. So if you'd like to take a look at the 強く必要ならこのチャットのリンク見てください。Okay. So yeah, again, I'm really grateful for you guys for being here. And today's session is going to be not just going to be me speaking this whole time, although I have plenty to share. I want to really make this an interesting session, an interactive session, so that you can get the most out of it. And the way that you can do that is by doing some work yourself, by interacting. The more you give, the more that you're going to get. That goes with life, but that also goes in the session itself. So let's move on. So I think most of you pretty much know me, but my name is Justin Okamoto, and one of the things I'm really passionate about is life coaching, and we're going to be doing some life coaching during this session, so you'll get a chance also to experience what life coaching is like during this time. But really, it's about you taking a look at your life and seeing something new. And I like to use this analogy of a soccer game when I talk about life coaching. Are there any soccer fans in the house? Any soccer fans? Soccer fans. All right. I'm not a soccer fan, but I appreciate people who are soccer fans. So when you go to a soccer game, there are spectators, right? There are people who are sitting out in the stands and they're watching the game. And then there are also people who are actually playing the game, right? We call them the players, right? So if you're a spectator of the game, you watch the game, and based on how the game's going, you have a different reaction. So say your favorite team, they score a goal, and you react. You go, wow, yes, that was amazing. I feel great. And then the other team scores a goal, and you go, oh man, no, what's happening? Why is this happening? And that's very similar to how we relate with life sometimes. That when something good in life happens, we go, oh yay, something good happened. And then when something bad happens, we go, oh no, something bad happened. Oh, why did that have to happen? And then we kind of look at that thing that happened and we have an opinion about it, right? We might say, oh, that was great. Yeah, oh my gosh, that person is such a good person. Or we have another opinion. We say, oh, that person was such a bad person. Why did they do that? We also have opinions about ourselves, like, oh, I'm this kind of person. I'm a shy person, or I'm a charismatic person, or I'm kind of I like to be by myself kind of person. Regardless, we have all kinds of opinions about ourselves, whether they're positive or negative. But if we think about in a game, who is the one who's going to decide whether or not that game is a win for the team or a lose for the team? Who is that? Is it the spectators out on the stands, or is it the players on the field? What do you think? I think we all can understand that it's the players that are actually playing the game. They're the ones who are going to decide, how the game goes, right? So coaching is kind of an invitation in life to not be a spectator of life, to not just see your life and say, oh, that was good that happened. Oh, that was bad that happened. Why did it happen? But to actually get into your life and be a player, and to figure out why why things are the way they are, and figure out what can I do to make them the way that I want them to be. If my relationship's not the way I want it to be, how can I make it? How can I take steps to get to where I want it to be? Or if my career is not the way I want it to be, how can I take steps to get it there? Or if my relationship with myself, if I can't appreciate myself and I'm feeling like I'm always down on myself, I'm always hard on myself, I'm never quite feeling like I'm good enough, then in the coaching conversation we can look at, well, what would it take for you to feel like you're good enough, feel like you are worthy enough for for love or for whatever you're looking for in your life. And one thing I want to say about coaching is that coaching is not something that you would ever want to feel ashamed of, because just like an Olympic athlete, every Olympic athlete, if you think about it, they have a coach, and it's not because they're a failure or something. It's because they are committed to being the best. They want to be the best version of themselves. They want to be the most skilled players possible. So people who are interested in life coaching are people who are committed to being the best person that they can be. So you guys are here right now because you're committed to something in your life. You're committed to leadership. You're committed to serving others. You're committed to being the best version of yourself. And so I want you to know that you're in the right place tonight. And again, I'm really grateful that you're here. And yeah, I'd like to start talking about leadership. So the first step to really getting to unlocking our leadership abilities, the leadership that I believe rests inside of each and every one of us, is to first understand, what are my priorities? What are our priorities in life? And how can we understand our priorities in life? One way to look at it is we kind of have a limited amount of of time in the day, right? We have 24 hours in the day. We have a certain amount of money, a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of focus. And so one way we can actually take an honest look at how we prioritize our life is, where are we spending our time, our money, our energy, our focus? And people tend to spend these resources on three main areas of life. And I'm not counting like the 12 hours that we spend sleeping, eating, brushing our teeth, going to the bathroom, these kind of basic necessities. I'm not counting that. But basically, there's three areas of life that we spend time in, spend our resources on. And the first one is focusing on ourself, which is our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, doing things so that we can experience growth for our self. The second area is with our family or other people. So it could be friends, family, people around us, that we invest time, energy, money to take care of other people, to support other people emotionally, physically, financially. And then the third area is in the world or in society. So a lot of people invest into the world of society through a job, through a career. If you're working at an IT company, that's your contribution to society. Or also through volunteer work. If you volunteer at an organization or a community, that's your contribution to society. So I want to do a quick, an opportunity just to reflect on our own lives. So if you have the worksheet, you can use that. But if you just have a piece of paper, that's okay. I just want you to draw a circle, okay? And then what I want you to do is, I want you to create like a pie chart. So say you think, let me try this out. Like, how much would you say that you spend your energy, your time, your focus, your money on the world, on society? So say you think it's like, I don't know, this much, right? This is my contribution to the world. And then you think, okay, how much do I spend time on family? And say, okay, so this is like family, right? And you think, okay, how much do I spend time? And so this remaining portion is kind of, this is where I spend time on myself, where I try to educate myself, try to grow, try to get better at things. So just really quick, I want you to just create this kind of pie chart for yourself, and just try to look at a visual representation of what your priorities in life are like. Okay. And if you have done so,
may I ask? I'm sorry, I'm invisible.
Sure.
Where does work fall under?
Yeah, so work would be your contribution to society.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only exception would be like if you really feel your work is like your way to, I don't know, grow yourself. You know, if you really feel like this is your contribution to yourself because you just love your job, you're just so passionate about it, then there could be an exception. But for the most part, it would fall into that area of your contribution to the world or society.
Okay, just I feel we spent most of the products of work was a family. So, but okay, get it.
Yeah, okay. So if you are done, please either show me your chart. I'd like to see kind of what you guys came up with. Or you can just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you finished. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, very cool. Okay, awesome. So I'm not sure what you guys came up with, but I know for a lot of people that we tend to spend a lot of time, energy, focus, money on either the world, on either contributing to society through a career, through a job, and also for some people it's to their families or to others, that they spend time in taking care of their family, taking care of other people. But a majority of people, I would say, you know, the smallest portion of their time, their focus, their energy, you know, their love is directed towards themselves. This is my observation of people. This is not for everybody, but this is what I often see. And I know that I often also fall into this pattern where I'm thinking about everybody else. I'm thinking about, okay, I gotta change the world, but I often forget about myself. And I want to just give another analogy. So, okay. So if you've ever been on an airplane, hold on, sorry, I need to stop drawing. I stopped drawing. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're good. So if you've ever been on an airplane, I hope you guys had the opportunity to be on an airplane at least once in your life. Then you must have heard this this talk that they give about security, right? And they say when the mask comes down because there's an emergency, and they instruct you to what do they instruct you for? Do they say first you have to put your mask on your child, or do they say put your mask on yourself first? Which one do they say? They actually say to put the mask on yourself first. You got to put the mask on yourself. And why do they say put the oxygen mask on yourself first? The reason for that is if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then you're going to die. And if you die, then you cannot help your child who will then struggle. But actually, this is a lot how a lot of people live their life. Is they're out there, they're serving the world, they're serving their families, and they're just serving. They're thinking, you know, it's okay for me to just give. But what they don't realize is that they are, in a sense, they are suffocating. They're not giving that oxygen to themselves, and because of that, while they may not end up, you know, physically dying, although this does have negative health effects, you know, this kind of lifestyle, but their mental capacity, their spiritual self starts to wither away, starts to, you know, lose its energy. So this is something to consider, right? So one of the important things to consider when we're talking about leadership is thinking about maybe rearranging our priorities, right? Because a lot of times we think about life like, you know, the world, there's the world, and my family live in the world, and then I'm a part of my family. And in order, you know, first I have to change the world so that we can make this great world, this great society. And then if we have a great society, then, you know, my family can prosper in this society. And then if my family can prosper, then I can finally be happy. I can finally have peace because we have this peaceful environment. We have this peaceful world. right? Or people might think, I cannot be happy because of the current, administration or the current laws in my country, because of the environment that I live, because of the culture I live. I just cannot be happy. But actually, the reality is, if we get the priority in the correct order, if we actually start to realize, first, I'm the one that needs to find joy. I'm the one that needs to create, happiness, to create peace inside of me. And then only if I have joy, only if I have love, only if I have peace inside of me first, therefore then can I give that joy. I can then give that love to other people. And through doing that enough, through loving myself and giving out to the family, to others, then I can change the entire world or the entire society. So there's a saying of, peace starts with me, and that's a very true saying in life. And one quote that I really appreciate comes from, this is one of my greatest teachers in my life, someone who taught me so much about how to live life. And he says, before seeking to dominate the universe, first perfect your ability to dominate yourself. This is from Dr. Sun Myung Moon. And when he says dominate, it's not about like, oh, I got to wake up at 5 o'clock and I didn't do that, so I've got to dominate myself. So I got to, hit myself until I can listen, It's not that kind of domination, actually. It's a domination through love. Actually, when you love something, it naturally wants to follow you. When parents love their children, they naturally want to follow their parents. When you love, a friend, a partner, they naturally want to be there. They naturally want to give back to you. You naturally dominate through love. And that's the same thing goes actually for ourselves, is that if we want our bodies to follow our direction, we actually have to love our body. We actually have to show compassion, show kindness to our body, and take care of it. So how do we do that? I want to introduce this concept of integrity. This is a very, very crucial part of understanding how to take care of ourselves, how to invest in ourselves so that we can then, invest in other people. So a lot of times when people think about this word integrity, at least in English, I don't know a very good Japanese translation for this word, but in English, a lot of times people think of this word of integrity as, a person with integrity is like a good person, a moral person, somebody who does the right thing. But my definition, the way I'm defining integrity, I think goes deeper than that. It's not about being a good person. Actually, integrity is, I like to define it as the state of being whole and complete. And we talk about integrity like when we talk about engineering, like the integrity of a bridge or the integrity of a wheel. So if we look at this wheel, like a wheel has integrity when all of these little lines, we call them spokes, when all the spokes are in place in the wheel, it has integrity. It's whole, it's complete, it's a perfect wheel. And because it has the integrity, it's therefore able to move, it's able to turn and move forward. And that's exactly what it's like in life. When we have integrity in life, it's not about I'm a good person because I have integrity, or I'm a bad person because I don't have integrity. It's I have integrity and therefore I'm able to move. Therefore I'm able to move forward. My life's able to work. Whether that be in my relationships, my career, or with myself, integrity allows things to work. And what happens when we lack integrity, when one of those spokes comes out, maybe it's okay, that wheel still is able to function if just one is gone, but you take away another one and you take another one and another one, and eventually that wheel loses its shape and it loses its integrity and it's no longer able to move. So if we try to take a look at our own lives and this idea of integrity, one way to look at it is integrity is really about our words and our actions. So basically, when our words and our actions are united, are one, that is a state of integrity, of a human being whole and complete. Their internal world of their word, what they say, what they promise, is connected with their external world of their actions and their behavior. So it means basically, I do what I say. if I say that I'm going to be here at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be here at 9 o'clock. If my wife tells me, asks me to, turn off lights at night, and I say, I'll turn off lights at night. And then integrity would be, I actually take that action, I do that. So it's a simple concept, but it's not always the easiest, thing to follow. But yeah, basically integrity is unity between our actions and our words. This is this concept of integrity. So if we are in a place whenever we're feeling like a lack of power in our life, if we ever feel like I don't know how to move forward, I'm not sure how to overcome this situation, the first place we need to look actually is not, my children, they're not talking to me, or this person is doing this thing that I don't like. It's not about, okay, how do I fix this person? How do I change this person? The place we actually have to look first is my own integrity. How can I increase my own integrity, my own personal power to make a difference? And one way we can do that is through this process that we're all going to experience right now. Okay. So this is the other side of your worksheet, and this is a time to just reflect on your life. And when we kind of think about integrity, it's kind of like cleaning up a room, or doing some spring cleaning in a house, right? It doesn't always feel good to look at the mess, right? When we become conscious of the mess, we say, oh my gosh, my house is so dirty. It's such a mess, right? And so when we look at our integrity, sometimes it kind of feels like that. Like, it's like, oh man, I'm so out of integrity. I had made so many promises that I didn't keep. But just remember, after you clean up, after you have a sparkly, clean house, what do you get after that? You get to have this feeling of like, oh, everything's so clean now. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, it's so nice to have a clean house, And your integrity is the same feeling. It's like once you start to do a little work, just take some steps to put things in place, and then you start to feel a little bit more relief from that pressure, a little bit more freedom, and you feel a little bit more peace of mind. So so I want you guys to reflect on these questions. So what did I give my word to and didn't follow through? So this could be anything. This could be something that you said to yourself. Like you might have said, I'm gonna start exercising, but you didn't start exercising. Or maybe you said, I'm gonna start taking care of myself, but you didn't really do anything to take care of yourself. Or you said, I'm gonna love myself more, but you didn't really follow through with that. You didn't really take any action, or you didn't really get any support, or you didn't really do anything that you really loved. Or maybe it's something you said to your family, as a family, we're gonna go out on this vacation, or you said something to your spouse, you said, I'm gonna do this for you, but you didn't do it. Think about your house, your environment, maybe something you said that you were gonna do, but you didn't do it yet. Or think about your own goals. Say, I have this goal, but I didn't really do anything about it. Or I have this dream in my life, this vision for what I want to do, but I'm not really doing anything about it. Or at my work, I said I'd do this to my boss, but I didn't do it. Or even your hobbies. Say, I said I'm going to practice guitar for 10 minutes a day, but I just never did that. And this could be things that you can remember, but even think way back, because like could be like old stuff that like you just forgot, but it's like, it's those little cracks, in the side that you don't really see, but it's still there and it's still impacting your life. So anything that you can remember that you said you would do, you committed to it, you said, I'm going to do this, but you just didn't do it, just write it down. And you're just going to write it down on one side of the paper. And then what we're going to do next is how to restore that sense of integrity. The first step is just to create new promises, is just to get our words, our promise back to integrity, back into a place where we're committed to actually do something. And we can do that in 3 different ways. The first one is to adjust the promise to fit our real commitment. And I'm going to give examples of all 3 of these so it's more clear. The second one is to create a new action. And the third one is to create a new pathway. So get support or get in a structure. So I'm going to give you guys some examples. These are real examples of my own life when I thought about what am I lacking in integrity. So the first one is, so I promised to myself, I didn't promise to my wife, that I would give her a massage once a week. I said, this would be good to do for my wife, let me do that. But I never did that. It was like 3 weeks passed by, I didn't give my wife one massage. If she asked for a massage, I'd give it to her. But what I realized is, like, I just committed to this because I thought it was something that was a good thing to do. But I wasn't authentically inspired by that. So when you realize, I said I was going to do this, but the reality is it's not something I'm super inspired about. That's okay. But you want to think about, what am I committed to? I might not be committed to giving my my wife a massage once a week, but I do want her to experience love. I want her to feel loved by me. So what's something that I could do that I would be authentically be willing to invest in? And I thought, well, I like hugs. She likes hugs. So I can give her a big hug every morning for the next week. I could do that. I can commit to that, wholeheartedly. The second example, I said I would talk to 5 people about coaching last week. This is true. But, but I didn't do that. I didn't take that action. So if I still think, but this is still an important action for me to take, I still would want to take it. I don't really want to change it too much, but I might think about, well, what was missing? Why didn't I take this action? I might think, oh, well, I didn't set a specific time in my calendar, so maybe I'll just do that. And so I'll say I'll set aside 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday to message 5 people, and then I'll be good. And the last one, I said I would study Japanese every day, but I didn't do that. And this one, I'm not really sure what I can do with this one yet. I'm not really sure why I can't feel motivated for this one. So at least I should find some support, some way that I can find an answer, so then I have a next step. So I said, okay, I'll talk to my coach to figure out why I lost my motivation to study Japanese. Okay. So I want to give you guys some time to really just think about this, write down your own answers, anything that you see that you gave your word to, you didn't follow through, and then take some time to create some new promises. So I'm going to give you some time, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, or you can unmute yourself as well. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys so I'll give you guys 3 minutes, and if you need a little bit more time, just let me know. Okay. Just 15 more seconds. Okay. So, how many of you at least had one thing on your list? Have you had one thing? Could you just give me a thumbs up? Or when I do this, I usually have like 10 or 20 things on my list, like things that I didn't do. So if you had a long list, then you're not alone. Actually, the more you have on your list, that actually shows that you're doing things in your life. You're actually challenging yourself in things. It's very normal to have some integrity out when we're up to something in life, when we have people that we're relating with. But I really want to encourage, this is kind of the first step, but really the next step is to then follow through on your promises, right? Is now you've kind of committed to something. Now follow through with your new promises. And I promise you that if you just do this one thing, if you just focus on your integrity for a week of just getting your integrity back, you're going to feel massive differences in your life, in your power to make a difference in your life. So I wanted to go back to this next section, but I just want to check in. How many of you got some value from just reflecting on that? You felt something was maybe cleared up for you. Maybe you realized a new thing you can do, a new action. Okay, awesome. So the next thing I want to talk about is what is authentic leadership, because I really believe that we need to have a new model, a new idea of what leadership is in this world, because I think the old model of leadership is not quite working. At least not enough to really make the difference that we all want to see in the world, or in our families, or in our own personal lives. So I want to distinguish this idea of authentic leadership for all of us. So when we think about leadership, I want to talk about the old model. What is the old model, and what does a new potential model look like? So in the old model, leadership is seen as a position. So a leader is a position that's given to you by some authority. Maybe you're a congressman, or you're working in the government, or you're a church leader, or you are a teacher or something, right? It's a position. In the new model, leadership is a commitment in one's heart. So when you're committed to something, when you're committed to loving somebody, when you're committing to making a difference, leadership is where you stand up and you say, I'm going to make this happen. You say, it starts with me. In the old model of leadership, leaders must sacrifice their joy for others. Think, oh, I cannot, it doesn't matter if I'm unhappy. I got to just serve other people. But in the new model, leaders honor their own joy because they know that that's why they have joy to give. So they know that only if I have joy, if I'm feeling grateful for my life, I'm feeling blessed in my life, then I will be able to give tremendous joy and blessing and love to others. In the old model, leaders must always maintain a perfect image. So like we have to go out, and anytime we go out in public, we have to kind of pretend like nothing's going on in my life. In the new model, leaders lead by being committed to honesty and authenticity. That we show example of being honest, of being authentic, so that everyone else around us can also have the freedom to be themselves, to be honest and authentic. In the old model, leaders don't make mistakes. So leaders don't, only when they have the perfect plan, it's all planned out, then they carry it out. They don't make mistakes. In the new model, leaders see mistakes as a sign of growth. So it's because, I'm challenging myself. It's because I'm trying to go beyond that. I'm making mistakes, that I'm experiencing some kind of failure sometimes. It's a sign that I'm growing. Leaders in the old model must do things alone. They think, I've got to be the one in charge. I've got to be the one that makes this happen. While in the new model, leaders work with other leaders because they care about the vision. They know that we can do more together if we work together. In the old model, leadership is about power and authority. So I have this position, I have this power, this authority to do something. In the new model, leadership is about love and service. It's, I want to love others, I want to serve others, and therefore I step up as a leader. In the old model, leaders change the world. So the whole focus is, how can I change my external circumstances? How can I change this world? How can I change my community, my society, the people that are following me? In the new model, leaders change themselves first. They know that the change starts with me, that I need to be the change that I want to see in the world. Okay, so this is my vision for what leadership could be. And I feel like this model of leadership could be something that can be open to all people, that all people could step up as leaders, that they have a vision for joy, for love, for peace in their own hearts and peace in the world. And everyone has an opportunity to participate as a leader. And, I wanted to invite all of you here so that, to invite you into this possibility of stepping up into leadership, stepping up into being somebody who leads themselves by taking care of themselves, by investing in themselves, by making sure they are becoming the best person that they can possibly be. And I wanted to create, opportunities to make that possible. So, if you're interested in really developing your leadership first of your own self, then I created a 10-week program that I wanted to introduce to you guys. In the 10-week program, each week has a specific topic that we're going to explore. And it starts off with understanding ourselves, who we are, our identity. It goes into goal setting, goes into figuring out how can we do, from that identity, this is who I want to be, and this is what I want to do. And then, okay, how can I take steps to do that? And then there's going to be a lot of sessions where we take a look at how do we overcome the blocks that often come up when we're trying to create the life that we want. So things like getting over our limiting beliefs and understanding our rules, how we think about our life. How do we control our emotions? How do we communicate with others? How do we understand our energy? And how can we go from a very low level of energy to a very high level of energy just by working within? And how do we complete things powerfully? How do we end things in a powerful way? So this is the 10-week course, and I'll send out this curriculum so you can kind of take a look at yourself, take a look at it by yourself if you'd like to know more details. And the way it's going to work is it's going to be a once a week, just like this. We'll meet at 9 p.m. and we'll have a one hour session where we'll be doing work. We'll be getting coaching, where it's not going to be just you're learning something intellectually, but you're going to be applying something into your life. We're going to do that for an hour a week as a group. And then as a bonus, each person in the program is going to have the opportunity to have one-on-one coaching. So you're going to have a personal coach, somebody who's going to be able to walk you through any challenge that comes up in your life. You're going to have someone to talk to, someone to support you, or someone to help you to strategize to move forward in your goals. And this usually costs, about at least $200 a month for one-on-one coaching. But it's because we have some really generous coaches that are willing to do this, to offer this coaching for you guys at no extra charge, that we're able to have this as a part of this program. And some of those coaches are actually on this call right now. So if you guys are interested in this program, I wanted to give you guys the information. The course, the total cost of the course is going to be 20,000 yen. So you can pay that in full in the beginning, or you can split that into 2 parts to make it really easy. You pay half of it in the beginning, half of it in the middle. It's going to start the week of September 6th at 9 p.m. And it's going to start, the day is going to be decided based on everyone's availability. There's going to be Japanese translation. I know we're still working that out, but I think we're getting to the point where we've finally figured out how to make it work for everybody. So there's going to be Japanese translation if your English is not your first language. And the coach that you're going to be paired up with is going to be somebody who speaks your native language of either English or Japanese. Also, if you can't make the sessions at 9 p.m., that's okay. Every session will be recorded, so you can always watch it in your own time, and you can go through the exercises in your own time. That's okay if you can't make the sessions. So that's about it as far as the 10-week program. And yeah, I really just wanted to end just by really saying thank you so much for participating, for not just listening, but doing the work, but investing into your life, because I know that the more people invest in their life, invest in being the best person they can be, the more that transforms the world that we're all a part of, the world that I raise my children in, the world that your loved ones live in as well. So I really want to just say thank you. And if you're interested in this program, then please let me know. I'll send you guys a form to fill out. If you're kind of interested but you're not quite sure, also just let me know, and we can talk. We can talk one-on-one. I can answer any questions that you have. And if you're not interested in the program, then that's totally okay. Sometimes I'll have free events, and you can join those free events anytime. I'm really just here to serve as many people as possible and to share this coaching, share this thing that has made this amazing difference in my life with as many people as possible. So if you just want to hang out for those free events, that's okay too. So that's all from me right now. And feel free to unmute yourselves, and you can say whatever you want. If you want to just say thank you, that's okay. If you want to say hello, that's okay. If you want to ask a question right now, that's okay. I'll be here for a little bit if you have any questions. But again, yeah, thank you so much. And for those of you who would like to call it a night, feel free to call it a night as well. Yeah, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being